Hello everybody, my name is Bragster and welcome to something a little bit different. Now today we are going to be doing a tier list, and that's a tier list of the top 30 male wrestlers on WWE, well, the top 30 people that are most likely to win the Men's Royal Rumble match in 2021. I have done this by the betting order on SkyBet. I use that as my scope, and I picked the top 30 from that list, and I used it from like the 24th of January. I used that for the men's and the women's. I will be doing the same thing for the women's, but I'm going to be ranking them not on the likelihood of them winning, on whether I would like them to win. So it is my personal opinion, so please, I know you already will, but you can slag me off in the comments if you would like, because I will be ranking them based off the best, which is if they win, that'll be the best possible thing ever. Very nice, which is that's very nice. Alright, so just meh, alright. Tolerable, so if they won I wouldn't be happy, but I could tolerate it. And then get them gone. Don't even put them in the fucking conversation. I don't want them anywhere near the Rumble winning. Rumble winning or winning the Rumble. So yeah, I think these are, we've got a range of names, all big names, but we've got a range of names here. It's quite interesting because some of them I wasn't expecting, but I do quite like it. So we'll start off. So first up on my list is Adam Cole. Now Adam Cole would be, I'm going to put him in very nice. It'd be a very nice winner. If he is to win, I'd like him to face Drew. I think that heel face dynamic, and imagine if Adam Cole's the one that dethrones Drew McIntyre. You know, he goes through Goldberg, he's been through Brock, he's been through Randy, you know, to come out the other end and for Adam Cole to be the one that beats him, that would be awesome. That would genuinely be so cool, and would put Adam Cole over so much, and would make everyone so happy. And it would be a nice way to do his call up. Next up on the list is AJ Styles. AJ, he's already lost to Drew. I don't want him to turn face. Alright, I'm going to put him in alright. I might change it towards the end, but I'm going to put him in alright. It's between alright and tolerable for me, because he's already faced Drew, and because I don't want him to turn face. So I don't want him to face Drew, and I don't want him to face Roman. If he won, I'd be like, okay, but I wouldn't really care. I like AJ Styles, do not get me wrong, I love him, but right now is not the time for him to win the Rumble. Then we have got Andrade. I'm instantly putting that in very nice. Obviously all the talk between Zelina Vega leaving, and then this Andrade situation. Andrade's been off TV for a very long time. There's rumours that they're going to use his real life relationship with Charlotte in some way, in some capacity, and I would like to see that personally. But what a way to bring Andrade back. Bring him back, make him win the Rumble, have him go on to face Drew, beat Drew at Mania. Don't get me wrong, I love Drew. I just feel like out of all of them, Drew's the one that could lose the title and elevate someone right now. Obviously, beating Roman would, but it has to be right in storyline terms for Roman, as in his character is so storyline based, his run with the title is so storyline based, it's gotta be right for the storyline. But any like one to be rising up the card needs to happen through Drew, and Andrade would be a great choice. He's never really had a chance in the main event scene, so it'd be wonderful to have him in there. Next up is Apollo Crews. Now for me, and this is nothing against Apollo, tolerable. I like Apollo. I love his new character at the moment. This really angry, badass character, aligning himself with Roman. I love that. But for me, he has to do the dastardly heel thing first of winning the title off of Big E. He needs that Intercontinental title first. He needs to take it. He needs to cheat to win. He needs to be a dastardly heel, and he needs to be a bastard. Past that point, if he wants to rise up the card, then rise him up the card, but he's just not there yet. Like, if they were to do it next year, after he's had this really lengthy run as a heel, you know, he's like been a proper bastard with that title, with the Intercontinental title, and the crowd really love his character at the moment, and momentum's behind him. Next year could be Apollo's year for the Royal Rumble, but this year's just not the one for Apollo personally. Big E, Big E would be very nice. I don't think he'd be the best choice for me. I don't think he would be. I'm just looking at my list of people here, and there's not many people who I believe would be like the best choices to win this. Big E would be very, very nice though. Would be a lovely winner of the Rumble. Obviously these will change probably towards the end when I realise the sheer amount of people in very nice and not at the best. But for now, he's very nice. Definitely in that top end. Like, those three there could easily end up in the best by the end of this video. Big E's one of these. It depends how he won it. If he lost the title to Apollo at maybe the Rumble earlier in the night, and Paul Heyman got involved, or Roman got involved, or something, and Apollo cheated, and then Big E won the Rumble, it would be such a surprise if you know, and it would be great. And then him to go on and face Roman, dethrone Roman, because Roman's been the guy that has just been trying to get him out of that title scene. He wants to control the mid card. That would be a really nice storyline to do. Bobby Lashley. I don't know with Bobby. Tolerable? It's between tolerable and get 'em gone for me. I'm loving Bobby's work in the US title scene. I do believe personally Matt Riddle will be winning that title. I don't know why, I just feel like he's winning that title. And I think it might be a way to keep Matt Riddle in the company. It might be a way to sign him on the contract. I think they did a similar thing with Rey Mysterio. They put the US title on him, and then like we're like, oh sorry, you know, you signed a contract, you're back in the mid card and doing fuck all. I feel like that's what's going to happen with Riddle. But Bobby, I'm loving his work at the moment. I just don't think it's a main event caliber work. I don't know, I think Bobby is one of these. There are some wrestlers who are destined for the mid-card, and I think Bobby's one of those. But he's a very, very good mid-carder. Do not get me wrong. That's not a disgrace to Bobby. Just right now, like the Hurt Business are great, and I just don't want him to rise up that card just yet. I just don't think it's the right decision. Braun Strowman, get him gone. Just get him gone. Get Braun Strowman out the fucking way. I don't like him, right? It's quite simple, really. Braun is one of those I do not want anywhere near the Rumble win. Braun is boring for me at the moment. I just don't care about him. I cared more, I think, about the Great Khali than I do Braun right now. I just don't like it. When he won the title at Mania, I thought that was going to be... It was Braun's time to really show off what he could do. He did nothing really, and I know the booking didn't help him, but he just wasn't entertaining to watch. And for me, he's actually lower than Bobby. Like, Bobby's an upper mid-carder. He's a very good mid-carder that can have main event matches and be in the main event, and it wouldn't seem out of place. Braun, it just doesn't feel right. It just doesn't feel right. I don't think he should be someone going for the title. I just don't know what to do with Braun, and I just need him away from it as much as possible. The Fiend Bray Wyatt. Fuck. tolerable. Now, there's a reason I put him in tolerable and not get him gone. A lot of you will be saying get him gone, but I'm saying tolerable for one reason and one reason only. How cool would it be if number 30 hits, the lights go down one by one by one, and they can do it without a crowd as well, and then have the Fiend's entrance and have everyone in the Rumble just staring at him. Like, I remember the one year when, I think it was when Taker won the Rumble, when he came out number 30, and the crowd went mental. Like, it could be one of those moments, and it would be such a badass moment to win it. I do feel though, if he is to win it, he's got to go for Drew, because it makes no sense to go after Roman. He has to go after Drew, or Randy wins the title from Drew and then he faces Randy. That's why it's tolerable. It's actually similar to these guys. It would be cool if they won it, but I don't understand where they would go with it. I would find it very difficult to work out where is the best way to go with Bray if he won the Rumble. The actual Rumble ending and how he wins would be badass, but who he faces at Mania, that road to WrestleMania bit, it's just doesn't feel right. Brock Lesnar, tolerable winner. I do not want to see Brock win it. One big reason, he doesn't need it. If Brock was to come back, and go after Drew, he could get a title match like that, similar to how Goldberg got it. Just walk up and be like, I want that title. His stature alone earns him that. Actually, I'm moving him up to alright because I've just convinced myself. So he doesn't need it. Similar to AJ, actually, he probably doesn't need it. It's not. But how cool would it be if the road to WrestleMania was, will Brock go after Roman Reigns, or will he go after Drew McIntyre? Like, that build-up would be so fun to watch, because I think you would divide the wrestling world as to who they believe you would go for. Like, would you go for Drew, who you lost the title to, or will you go for Roman, who's basically stole your manager off of you? That would be cool. Then we've got Cesaro. This is controversial. He's the best. Right now, Cesaro is doing some of his best work. He's an extremely good wrestler. Fans have been vying for his push for years. They have been vying for his push up the card. Then you've got the idea that he's got this really badass character right now. He's just beaten Daniel Bryan. He's been booked very, very strong recently. So for an outside pick to win this, I do believe it would be Cesaro. And have Cesaro switch brands. Don't have him go after Roman. Make him switch brands, go for Drew. Possibly beat Drew. Hopefully beat Drew. In this situation, it's one of those things where I actually want to see Roman with the title a long time. I think Drew is reaching this stage now where if he lost it and just dropped to the upper mid card for a little bit, I don't think we would complain too much. He's had a really good, strong stint with that title, unless he loses to Goldberg. But we'll just pretend he won't lose, okay? But yeah, Cesaro would be great. Absolutely. I love the fact I'm actually presuming throughout this video that Goldberg isn't beating Drew, which is a very high possibility. But I don't want to see Goldberg with that title, and that's why I'm doing it this way. Is I'm just going to judge it based off who the champions are right now and how that goes about. But yeah, having Cesaro switch brands, it gets rid of this Shinsuke thing, because I don't really, as much as the matches would be great, I don't want to see a rivalry between Cesaro and Shinsuke at the moment. I don't think it's necessary. I do like the idea of this, you know, Shinsuke going face and Cesaro going heel, but they don't have to feud over it. I think they can just go their separate ways. And a very good way of doing that is having Cesaro win the Rumble and then going on to WrestleMania, switching brands and facing Drew McIntyre. What a way to rise Cesaro up that card that would be. CM Punk. Balls. I'm going to get stick for that. I'm going to get so much stick in the comments for that. He's coming in alright because Punk doesn't need it. Punk doesn't need the win. And right now, for me, is not the time for CM Punk to come back. It's not the time. Not at all. It's just not the time for CM Punk to come back. But if he did come back and he did win it, oh boy would I be excited. But it's just, right now, it's just not the right decision. So that's why he goes in alright. I would be very, very happy with it because it's CM Punk. But in terms of the booking wise, it makes no sense. Daniel Bryan. In the best. I think Daniel Bryan's in the best. Because with Bryan, and it says a lot, doesn't it? SmackDown had a very good segment between Cesaro and Daniel Bryan, and they're the two in the best. Like, Bryan cut a very good promo on SmackDown that could easily be used in like the WrestleMania packages and stuff, easily. And him going on to face Roman would be quite interesting. He's had his troubles with Roman in the past, and to bring that all back up would be pretty cool. I don't want him to go over to Raw. I don't think he's the right type of person to switch brands. I think he's got to go for Roman, and I do think they could pull it off. Obviously Daniel Bryan is very much a family guy, so to have obviously Roman with this family based character facing a family guy is quite interesting. Drew McIntyre, I'm going to put him in alright. It's not tolerable, because I predicted this, little behind the scenes here. So me and my friend Kai, we predicted at we watched Survivor Series together, we're having a nice little chat, and I watched the match between Drew and Roman, and it had a very slow build, not much really happened. It was like they didn't give anything away. They didn't really show off the match much. Like, we all know Roman and Drew could have put on a better match there, but they really slow built it. They didn't do much with it, which said to me that they were going to have Drew lose the title, win the Rumble and face Roman, is what I had in my head, and I was convinced. I even betted on it. I even betted on Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre to be the main event of WrestleMania, and Drew to win the Rumble immediately after Survivor Series. Straight after, I predicted it, because I think it would be a really good storyline. However, with the storylines as they are right now, I don't think it's the right decision, because if Drew was to lose the title, it'd be to Goldberg, and if he was to win the Rumble and then to go after Roman and not Goldberg, it might put over to some fans that Drew is scared of Goldberg, and Goldberg is old, and yeah, he just shouldn't be anywhere near the main event scene right now. He should be back as a special attraction and maybe have one-off matches, one-off feuds, but he shouldn't be doing it in the title scene. I know they've got to put a placeholder feud in, but there are other people you could have done, like rise people up the card. Like, seriously, it's ridiculous. But yeah, Drew, obviously I would like it because it means my bet comes in, but I think for storyline reasons, as of right now, it doesn't make too much sense. It would be cool, but it just won't make too much sense. Edge, very nice. Would be a very nice winner, Edge would. That would require Randy to win the title. I know that, but it would require Randy to win the title, or you don't have Randy win the title, and that be the storyline. The storyline is Randy, the only way Randy gets to Edge, the only way Randy can face Edge at WrestleMania and get his like revenge, this, that and the other, is well, he doesn't need revenge, but to get his hands on Edge, he has to win the title before Mania. And you could have that storyline and then have the Elimination Chamber as his last chance, and he fails in that, and then that spiral off into a storyline. Then you could have maybe The Fiend versus Randy at Mania, maybe even in a Funhouse match, but you could have The Fiend versus Randy at Mania and have Edge face Drew and have a really nice match there. Maybe have Drew go over, maybe give Edge a final title run. It doesn't really bother me which way around it went, but it would be a cool little storyline. Or obviously they could have Randy go for it. There are so many different ways they could do that one, and that's why it's in very nice. It would very much excite me if Edge won it. Another Edge return at the Rumble, but it would be an incredible moment. Goldberg, get him gone. Just get him gone. Bugger off. Just go away. Just go away. Just go away. Goldberg should be nowhere near the title picture. End of. Next one. I don't even need to elaborate. Jay White. It was surprising how high up the list he was. Jay White, very nice. I won't put him in the best, but again, he'd have to go for Drew. But if he was to win the Rumble, go for Drew, go over at Mania. What a fucking moment. That's one of the biggest skyrockets in WWE. And it would also play into Jay White's arrogant nature and arrogant attitude. I haven't seen much of his New Japan work, but I do know a little bit about him. And to have this arrogant nature about him, go on to Mania and win at Mania, like that just puts him over. Not only puts him over, but his character work would be insane. Of him just going, look at me, I won. Like that would just be insane. Then we have Jey Uso, which would be very nice. Very nice. Yeah, I think it would be a very nice choice to have Jey win it, because the storyline then is obviously, does he go for Roman and betray Roman, or does he go for Drew and they control both brands? Obviously, I think the storyline would be this is how he betrays Roman. I feel like if he betrays Roman though, he'd have to go over. If he betrays Roman, he'd have to go over. Which would be nuts to have Jey Uso as the world champion. But he's doing the best work of his career. He's become a main eventer. I wouldn't be against it. But that's why it would be very nice. It wouldn't be the best, because obviously then it would mean you would have Jey Uso as world champ, or you'd have him face Drew, fail against Drew, and then just hell breaks loose with him and Roman just demolishes him. That would be quite cool, actually. That would be quite cool. They could go again 2 different ways. That's why a lot of these very nice ones can go 2 different ways, which is why I really like them. You could go down so many different paths, and that's what I really like about the Rumble. Is usually it means that there are loads of different storylines that can go left, right and centre. Then we have Jimmy Uso. It would be alright. The reason that Jimmy's wouldn't be very nice on the same level as Jay's is because Jimmy hasn't been elevated to the same level as Jey Uso. They just haven't been elevated to the same. Obviously Jay's been elevated extremely, Jimmy not so much, and Jimmy would go after Roman. That would be the whole storyline, is Jimmy definitely would go after Roman. Jay would obviously be this like torn thing, similar to like this Brock situation where which one does he go for? Jimmy would have to go for Roman, and I don't think it would matter if he lost, whereas Jay would have to go over if he faced Roman. Jimmy wouldn't, because Jimmy obviously could fail similar to Jay and then have the storyline of he's now under my wing, and then you have the Usos and Roman together. Saying that, actually, when I booked that in my head then, it goes up to very nice. What a way to elevate Jimmy as well. The Usos would be the best tag team in the world right now, like in storyline terms. They really would be, because of how strong they would have been booked. Yeah, that would just be nuts for me, having Jimmy win that. Having go after Roman. If he won, wow. If he lost, then obviously he goes underneath Roman at the same level Jay is, but that would elevate him enough. The fact that he was in a main event match at Mania, unbelievable. John Cena, get him gone. I don't want to see Cena win a Rumble anymore. I don't mind him doing similar to what Goldberg did, come back and then go for a title, but I just don't think right now is the time for him to win the Rumble. Like, I don't think he needs it. He can go after the title whenever he wants. He doesn't need to win the Rumble to get it. And this year especially, there are so many undercard guys that deserve this. Like, why not put one of them over? By John Cena coming back and winning, I think it would just diminish all the hard work they have done of trying to elevate all of these guys ready for the Rumble. It would just diminish all of that. Keith Lee, the best. Controversial. I was going to put him in very nice, but he would be the best, one of the best winners. For me, he's the top person on the list. Maybe him and Cesaro are the top people on the list to go after. Drew. I think if he does, Keith has to go over. Now, this is why it nearly went into very nice. If the crowd weren't there, I'd have Keith win the title, win the Rumble, have him turn heel, beat Drew, and then you have a heel champion. I feel like if you're going to do it this way, with obviously the crowd being at Mania this year, if that's going to happen, which it will, Keith has to stay face because the crowd love him, and he hasn't done any heelish things in front of the crowd to turn them against them. So yeah, if Keith was to win it, he'd have to stay face, but it'd still be, what a moment at Mania that would be. Kevin Owens. This seems harsh. Get him gone. Oh, it seems so harsh. He's had too many chances, and that is simply the only reason. He's had too many chances at that world title of Roman's. He doesn't need another one. It'd be lazy booking. He's in a last man standing match against Roman at the Rumble. To have him lose that and then be in the Rumble and then win the Rumble would just bury quite a few people. And Kevin Owens is over like hell at the moment. I'm on the Kevin Owens hype train. I love the guy right now, but this is not the year for Kevin Owens. This is not the year, and if he's going to win a world title, it needs to be after Mania. He might have to turn heel, he might not, he might have to switch brands, I'm not really sure, but you just can't have another shot at Roman. It's just, the storyline's great, but this would be what his third or fourth shot at Rumble will be, his third or fourth shot at the title. To get a fifth at Mania would just be taking a spot someone else could fill. Then we've got Matt Riddle. That would be tolerable. Similar to Bobby, I'm loving their story. Well, I'm not loving their storyline at the moment at all. I like the fact they are both in the mid card. I think that's where they belong, and that's why he's there. Whereas like with the Fiend, it's more booking decisions. He's in there. Apollo, it's more because it's just he's not ready yet. He's on the rise, but he needs to win that Intercontinental title, establish himself as a heel, and then he can go on to bigger and better things. Matt Riddle was similar. He needs to win the mid-card title first. I need to see him in a title run first, because I'm not really the biggest fan of Matt Riddle, and he needs to prove to me that I should get behind him, because I'm not 100% sure on him right now. Randy Orton, get him gone. There's a lot here that are get him gones. Randy is one of them. He does not need it. Again, he's another guy on WWE roster that this year does not need that title. And there's one big reason for that, and that is he's had too many chances. Similar to Kevin Owens. On the Raw side, Randy's had too many chances. Kevin Owens has had too many chances on the SmackDown side. It's too early for them to win stuff like the Rumble. Yeah, I think the storylines are moving past for Randy. He's going to go into a storyline with Edge at some point. He's in a storyline with The Fiend. He's booked up for Mania in one of those two feuds. Keep him booked up in one of those two feuds. Yeah, Randy doesn't need to be anywhere near it. Roman Reigns, get him gone. So he's in get him gone because I don't want him to lose the title. And if he wins the Rumble, it means that he's lost the title. Unless you have someone that's already won the title win the Rumble, which I just can't see happening. I don't think this is the year for them to do that. I think they probably will at some point, but this is not the year. Similar to what Brock did last year, like go in and dominate. Roman doesn't need that right now. He's in the last man standing match as well at that pay-per-view. He doesn't need it. So yeah, I want I want Roman as far away from the Rumble win as possible. I just don't want him to be in the match. I want him to beat Kevin Owens, and I want him to be it for that feud, and then have Roman go on to bigger and better things. Samoa Joe, the best. I'd have him go after Roman. Samoan. He's Samoan. We haven't seen him in the title picture in so long. We haven't seen him in the ring in so long. It's about time, and I feel like what a way to bring Joe back. Have him come out, have him dominate, have him win the Rumble. What an appearance that would be. Like, for him to take off his commentary set, go into that Rumble and dominate, and and not like how the previous commentators have done it in the past, where it's been a joke. Like, except for maybe the Booker T one, I don't think was as much of a joke. But to have him like go down into his gear, and him to go into the Rumble, and everyone's faces to be like, no, not Samoa Joe. Have everyone shocked. Have them really put over the fact that Samoa Joe is back, and that's a danger. Like, oh, that would be beautiful. Then we move on to Seth Rollins. That would be a tolerable win. I don't think, for me, Seth Rollins is the right guy right now. If he was to come back in the Rumble, cool. That would be a cool thing if he was to come back in the Rumble. But he's not to win it. It's just not the right time. Obviously, him to go on and face Roman would be a great storyline, but for me, that has to happen after Mania. I wouldn't be into it at the moment. I don't know who I want to face Roman, but I think there's other people like Big E, Daniel Bryan, Shinsuke Nakamura, which we'll come to in a minute. Jay or Jimmy Uso, Samoa Joe. There's just other better names out there. Seth Rollins would be there for storyline reasons, but I think that can happen post-Mania. Like, once we understand what Seth's new character is, then we can move into that. Sheamus would be alright. I think with Sheamus, I think he can get into that Mania match, or just any match for that world title against Drew, by storyline alone. He doesn't need the Rumble win. It would be a cool storyline, which is why it's not tolerable. It's just alright, because if he won it, I'd be like, okay, he's going to face Drew, And then Drew would obviously be like, oh, you're going to face me or Roman, you know, I'm your best buddy. And then all of a sudden Drew's trying to be best buddies with Sheamus, and then Sheamus turns on him. Would be a cool little storyline, but I just don't. I think as you can see in the tier list, there's just other people that would be would be better prospects and would be so much better than having Sheamus. Shinsuke Nakamura would be the best or very nice. I'm going to go with very nice at the moment. I'll have a look in a minute whether I need to change any. But very nice would be the right one. I think right now is quite simply, it's a nice choice. Having Shinsuke get that chance would be very, very, very nice indeed. But I don't think it's necessary. I don't know, I just think there's better people that they can give it to. Shinsuke obviously did get screwed out that gauntlet match, but not much has been really mentioned about that, which is a bit weird. But it's nice to see the old Shinsuke back. If he did win it, it wouldn't surprise me one bit, and I wouldn't be against it. I just think there's a few better people on the roster for that. The Rock would be tolerable. The Rock would be tolerable. Quite simply, the reason why it's not in Get 'Em Gone like John Cena is the storyline reason for it. Roman Reigns and the Samoan connection thing would work brilliantly. The reason it's intolerable and not higher up might have been alright if... I know there's going to be fans this year, but they want a packed arena for The Rock to come back and to wrestle. They want a packed arena. Not right now. There is storyline reason to do it, plenty of reason to do it, just not right now. Which is why if he won it, it'd be alright, but or tolerable, you know, I'd deal with it, but it just wouldn't be ideal. And Tyson fucking Fury, get him gone. If Tyson Fury is anywhere near that fucking Rumble win, I might stop watching WWE. Genuinely, it would be the biggest travesty ever if he won that thing. So get him as far away as possible. As far away as possible. So yeah, that is the all 30. I'll go through them now. So in the best, we've got Cesaro, Bryan, Keith Lee and Samoa Joe. Out of all of those, if I was to pick one winner that I'd possibly want the most, I think it would be probably would be Bryan. I'd love that moment. But next up would be Cesaro for me on that list. And then having Cesaro face Drew and possibly even go over. Then in very nice, we've got Adam Cole, Andrade, Big E, Edge, Jay White, Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, and Shinsuke. The Usos should be in very nice because they're not main event talent. I'm tempted to move Adam Cole up because what a win. Yeah, Adam Cole would be amazing. I'm going to put him in the best. I'm going to move him up one. Everyone else is in very nice. And it should stay there. But Adam Cole, I just think, just the prospect of him winning would be nuts. Even if he doesn't, if he makes it into that final four, what, like, he's going to have been put over so much in just doing that. So, yeah, that'd be awesome. And for me, have him be the Iron Man. Have Adam Cole be the Iron Man. I think this year we need an Iron Man. The obvious one would be Daniel Bryan. And for me, if you have Daniel Bryan be the Iron Man, you have him go from one and finish it. You have him go the distance. I think if Daniel Bryan's to be the Iron Man this year, have him go the distance. Otherwise, for me, I think the Iron Man of the Rumble should be Adam Cole. What a way to put him over that would be. Then we've got in alright AJ Styles, Brock Lesnar, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. A lot of big names in there, you'll notice. And that's quite simply, obviously, anyone up here, it would elevate them. in a way, unless obviously Bryan's already been there, but it would be really nice if he wins that. And Edge, similar ilk there. Everyone else would be elevated up the card. Whereas here we've got a lot of big names, but that just wouldn't need it, or, you know, it would make me happy and pop me, but it wouldn't do anything for me. And then Intolerable, we got Apollo, Bobby Lashley, The Fiend, Matt Riddle, Sheamus, I looked at Sheamus, Seth Rollins, and The Rock. That makes sense for me. I think the one I'd most like to win out of all of those down there is Apollo. I'm tempted to move Apollo up to alright, but I just think yeah, he's going to go in alright, Apollo. He's going to go in alright. Just looking at the names that he's with there, he needs to go in alright, because I'd actually feel happier if Apollo wins. If any of these win, I'll get the same feeling. If Apollo wins, I'll get a similar feeling to these guys. You know, it's not the right time, but I love it. Braun, I just don't want him there. It feels like Kevin Owens is too far down, but it is for storyline reasons. Most of these get him gons, except from Braun, I just don't like. Goldberg, don't want anywhere near the title picture. John Cena, don't want there. Kevin Owens is due to storyline, it's just not right now. Randy, similar ilk, due to storyline, not right now. Roman, similar ilk, due to storyline, not right now. And then Tyson Fury just shouldn't be anywhere near there. But yeah, that is the tier list. That is my beliefs on who should win the Rumble. So for me, the 5 people that should win, it should be one of Bryan, Cesaro, Keith Lee, Samoa Joe, or Adam Cole. Yeah, actually, I might move Samoa Joe down to very nice. There we go. That's the final move. That's the final move. It should be one of Daniel Bryan, Cesaro, Keith Lee, and Adam Cole. Yes, that feels better. That feels better. Yeah, there's so many names this year that can win this Rumble, and that's why it excites me. I'm very excited for this year's Rumble. Both the men's and the women's Rumble I'm excited for. What a Rumble this could be, and out of the top 30, those are the people I would love to win. So yeah, hit that like button if you like this video and want to see more tier lists like this, whether it be to do with wrestling or whether it be to do with anything else in the world. Comment down below, who do you most like to, who would you most want to win the Rumble? Who do you want to win it? Like, have I put someone maybe further down than you expected, or maybe you would want? Maybe you want The Fiend to win or something like that. Maybe you want The Rock to win the Rumble. Do you disagree with any of my picks? Put those down in the comments down below. If you're new here, please do subscribe and check out my other wrestling content and my other content on the channel, as well as my TEW series. That would be very, very nice. And I shall see all of you guys in the next video. See ya!